Have you ever made a mistake that cost you dearly? Well, if you have, I feel your pain. I was just a young man when I made that terrible mistake. It was one of those classic rookie blunders that you can't help but cringe when you think about it. I was so embarrassed. I felt like a failure. And to make matters worse, everyone I knew thought I was a genius. They all said things like, "You're the smartest guy we know," or "You've got this natural talent for sales." And then they'd say, "No wonder you're doing so well. You were born with a silver spoon in your mouth." I heard those comments more times than I could count, but deep down, I knew that wasn't true. I wasn't born with a silver spoon. I was born with a golden spoon. I earned my success. But after I lost that $10,000, I knew I needed to come up with a new plan fast. So I did what any smart person would do. I turned to the experts. I devoured their books, studied their teachings, and tried to apply their strategies to my business. But no matter what I did, I just couldn't seem to turn things around. Then one day, out of desperation, I did something totally out of character. I shared my story with the world. And almost overnight, everything changed. You see, people don't connect with businesses. They connect with people. And if you can tell a good story, you can make people care about you, which means they'll be willing to listen to what you have to say. Now, whenever someone asks me, "What's the secret to your success?" I tell them, it's simple. Share your story. And I know what you're thinking. Yeah, easy for you to say. What if my story isn't that interesting? Let me tell you something. Everyone has a story worth telling. It might not seem like it at the time, but trust me, people want to hear your story. They want to know who you are, where you came from, and how you got to where you are today. So the next time you're feeling down because of a mistake you made, remember this. It's not the mistakes that define you. It's what you do next. Mistakes happen to all of us. It's what we do next that makes all the difference. If you're willing to share your story, people will connect with you, trust you, and ultimately buy from you. And that's the real secret to success. Now I want to hear from you. What embarrassing mistake have you made in business, and how did you turn it into a valuable lesson? Share your story in the comments below. And hey, don't forget to subscribe for more amazing content. Do you know how much money you need to make your first million? Actually, let me rephrase that question. Do you know how much money you need to make your first $100,000? And the answer might surprise you. It was actually a really big mistake that taught me this lesson. It was a $10,000 mistake. Now, this story has been told and retold many times before, but I think each time it's retold, more people hear it, and it needs to be heard by everyone who wants to start a business or start a side hustle. So let me tell you the story. I was about 23 years old, and I had just started my first real job. I was working for a marketing agency, and I was making 6 figures a year. Now, at the time, I thought I knew everything about marketing. I had read all the books. I had studied all the gurus, and I was like, okay, I got this. One of the clients that we had at the agency was a financial institution, and they came to us and they said, "Hey, we need some marketing materials. We want to launch a new credit card, and we want to target young adults, people between the ages of 18 and 35. Immediately, I jumped in and I said, "I got this. Don't worry." I know exactly how to do it. So I put together this massive marketing plan. It was probably 50 pages long, and it had everything from the website to the landing pages to the emails, the sales letters, the Facebook ads, the Google ads, the whole nine. I was so confident in myself and in my abilities that I didn't go to anyone else in the agency. I didn't bounce any ideas off of anyone. I didn't get any feedback. I just went with my gut, and I did it all myself. So I put together this plan and I presented it to the client, and they loved it. They hired us and we got to work. Well, fast forward a few months and we had spent probably $10,000 of their money on this campaign, and it was a total failure. We had gotten 0 customers. Well, needless to say, I was fired that day. I walked out of that client meeting with a box of my stuff and about $10,000 in cash. I was devastated. I felt like a complete failure. I was like, what am I doing? I am 23 years old and I have no job and dollar. $10,000 less in my bank account. But then something interesting happened. The owner of the marketing agency, he took me aside and he said, "Listen, I know this isn't your fault. You just need to understand something. Business is hard. Business is really hard and most people don't make it. Most businesses fail." He then proceeded to tell me a story. He said, "I've been in business for over 20 years and I can count on one hand the amount of people that have done what you did. They took a massive swing, took a huge risk, and won. You have to understand that most people are not willing to do that. Now, if you're thinking to yourself, great, just make a really big marketing plan and I'll be successful too, then you're missing the point of the story." What I learned from that $10,000 mistake is that marketing doesn't have to be complicated. Marketing doesn't have to be expensive. And if you understand human psychology, you can be successful.